Stop flashing.
Stop flashing.
That was me to
the
Zoom recorder, not me to I don't know, like
it's a PSA to all flashers out there.
Yeah.
This is an anti-flasher podcast.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
We don't need to see that.
Nobody wants to see it.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to see it.
It's never a hot person flashing. Usually.
No.
Usually like a streaker.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's normally well, I don't know. I'm sure like sometimes whenever you got like a streaker at a ball game.
Yeah, it's
they're
almost
not
always like an
necessarily
ugly dude.
people. I don't know. Sometimes they're just like tools, you know.
Yeah.
And they're like
I don't know.
those guys are put together.
Are they? Are they really?
I don't know.
Sounds like you're Team Tool here.
Well, they're not put together up here,
right?
But down, you know.
But below the neck, you think A-okay.
I think, yeah, right. Because I think like I don't know, college tool fraternity bro, that kind of guy.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Those are the kinds of people streaking at ball games. No,
right. Yeah, I guess that's right. It's never like a big fat guy.
No, because they can't run.
Yeah, it's true. Also, they probably can't afford the seats. I don't know.
Was that? I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
Who are you apologizing to with that? Oh, you want to restart the whole thing?
No, I didn't mean to say fat guys can't run. Fat guys can run, and you should run.
Wow. That's what it was. No, fat guys can't run. That's true. That's a factual statement.
Listen, I'm just trying to.
They can run to the buffet. Oh.
All right. You know what?
Yeah. I saved it.
You saved it.
I can say that. I can say that fat guys can't run. It's a fat guy that tries to run sometimes. It never works out. Hey, TJ.
Hey, buddy.
It's evening.
Evening time.
Look at this.
It's nighttime.
Yeah.
We got a night pod.
I love the night pods because the night pods, it feels like anything's possible.
Yeah, it really does. Anything can come out past 8 o'clock. What is it? What time is it?
It's like 9:30 when we're recording this.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty late. Yeah. Well, we just watched another 2 episodes of the Drew Carey show. Season 2.
There are some times where I'm like, God, I would, if we weren't doing this, 2 at a time, and then I would just binge
the whole thing.
I would fucking rip through
Especially
this show.
now that you can stream it. I'm like, I would absolutely like spend a weekend just watching it, like me and my girlfriend or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think you
think
would
I could
both
convince?
be
You think I could convince
into
her?
watching the Drew Carey show?
I think I could. Again, both of our girlfriends are very supportive of this podcast.
Yeah.
I think we could convince them to watch the Drew Carey show.
Yeah. I think she would. I don't know if she'd be like. It's more of a like, let me paint my nails or knit or do like anything
it's
else.
a background
Let's
show.
Play cards while the show plays.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, God, The Office is that for so many people. Like a lot of like huge sitcoms are like that for a lot of
the
people.
first time I watched The Office, though, I did like sit down
and like intently
I
be like,
intently watched. I binged it all in like 2 weeks in the summertime.
he put the stapler in the Jell-O. I have to take a note on that.
Yeah.
We watched season 2, episode 9, season 2, episode 10. We're about halfway through the second season of the Drew Carey show. It's pretty impressive.
I couldn't believe it when we were writing down episode 9, episode 10.
Yeah.
Got a couple of Mimi-centric.
Yeah,
apps.
absolutely.
This
We're
is
developing
the
Mimi Bobek.
Mimi show, the Mimi Bobek show
the Mimi
tonight.
show. Yeah, season 9. I mean, it's episode 9. It's literally in the title. It's Mimi's Day Parade. It's another holiday centric episode. I was confused. I think is when we had Lyle on. By the way, shout out Lyle. Those were great episodes. Thank you so much.
Shout out Lyle. Thank you.
But when we had Lyle on, they were talking about the Buzz Beer Christmas promotion. I thought we were fully in the holiday, like the winter season.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And I guess we are right before Thanksgiving.
Right before Thanksgiving here, yeah.
What I was going to say, Mimi, it's a shame that like Mimi really was like the Kramer of this sitcom as far as like the nothing else after this show. Like Mimi, she was such an integral, like iconic character for this particular show.
Right.
Just as Michael Richards was for Seinfeld. And then just absolutely nothing after. Now, maybe that's disrespecting
a piece of work you do. I would like to say
I haven't seen her do anything else. I know Michael Richards he got
other
his own
issues.
show. He got the Michael Richards show on the heels of Seinfeld.
Oh, that's right. That was an
where
NBC
he played
thing, right?
like a secretary.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a secretary. It was a detective maybe. Or a cop, I don't remember, but it was the same shtick. But
so
I don't know if
Mimi's played by Kathy Kinney, is the actress's name.
Yeah.
I'm looking up what else she has done, and it's not a lot. She did some voiceover stuff, it looks like, and then Whose Line she was on in 1998. That's fun. We should go find that episode of Whose Line and do it as like a little bonus thing.
Yeah, that's
Hollywood Squares. Oh, she did it as Mimi, apparently. They're saying herself as a panelist, but then also Mimi as Hollywood Squares. Did you ever watch Hollywood Squares?
No.
I
do know the
loved
format, right? It's you have all of the celebrities in almost like a tic-tac-toe board. Yeah.
And it's like Whoopi Goldberg, and then it'll also be, I don't know, whoever else. Whoopi was the one that I remember was always there.
Yeah.
She was in Cat Dog. Again, a lot of voiceover stuff. Anyway, but yeah, she's doing stuff. I hope she's happy. Hope she's making money off residuals for this somehow.
Whatever. Or even getting paid for
No,
this, man?
probably not.
It doesn't exist anywhere.
Probably not. Nope. But she had a whole ass episode about her with a Thanksgiving Day parade. So
yes.
season 2, episode 9, where it's a Thanksgiving centric episode, which is, I always think, a weird one for like a sitcom to do. But Friends did it in a big way, I know.
Yeah.
But I don't.
If you can nail it, you like to everyone that when you think of a Thanksgiving centric show, that Friends episode is iconic.
Yeah, him getting his head stuck in it.
Head stuck in the turkey, or playing football in Central Park.
Right.
So if you can nail it, you can live in infamy
for sure. And well,
because
and then
nobody else is doing it.
They did multiple Thanksgiving Day episodes, right?
Yes,
Yeah. I wonder if this will be a consistent thing with Drew too. But I don't know. But anyway, we start with Drew interviewing people in a cold open. He's talking to a guy who has a Yale degree and he went to Wharton School of Business. And then he's like, you know what? You got a perfect resume. You're hired to be a mall Santa.
Yeah, hands him a Santa suit.
Fun little reveal. But it's the holiday shopping season, and Drew's trying to get all of his work done before Thanksgiving.
Which, honestly, because we find out just like a few moments later, it's 2 weeks until Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Getting all of it? I don't know. It feels like a little premature
to get a mall Santa.
Well, no, to get that, I guess seems right, but to be worried about getting all your work done, or like Drew acts like he has completed all his work now.
Well, think of it like this though. His job is to hire for a department store, so you got to like get people ready for the day after Thanksgiving. Black Friday is the biggest shopping event.
Okay, yeah, fair.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, damn, yeah, that
Black
must
Friday. Black Friday was not what it is.
In the 90s? I don't know. You know, I think we would have had a Black Friday centric episode if it was.
Yeah, it would have. We absolutely.
But it does like start in the 90s, right? Like with Tickle Me Elmo and shit. Like, isn't that really sort of when it kicks off? I'm asking like we weren't infants in the 90s.
Yeah, I have no idea. I feel like it really became to me, peak Black Friday were those like mid 2000s years where people were like getting killed over televisions.
People were trampling each other for Nintendo Wiis.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's still, I guess, a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Has to be. I mean, it must
I don't
be
know
for
what
Drew.
it was in its infancy, though. I don't know how it came to be.
I think
Black
it really
Friday.
was like people like ripping each other's heads off for like Cabbage Patch dolls and shit.
Yeah.
I think that's how it started. But anyway, yeah, he's trying to get all of his work done before Thanksgiving. We learn he's got a new girlfriend at the same time. This woman.
Yeah, Debbie.
Debbie. It used to be like a whole thing that we'd have to have this little like cat and mouse game.
Yeah.
Now we just get a woman.
Nothing ever comes easy for Drew.
Right. It's all off screen though, this one. I guess he says she works as a copy.
No, she fixes the copy machine.
Right.
Isn't that it? Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't it? I guess it's not implied she's a repair woman then. That's how I took it. Is that
I took it as like, the copy machine repair woman.
Yeah. So.
Which, that definitely was a job that was more important.
In the 90s. Absolutely, yeah. Now it's just you like FaceTime.
I was like,
guy.
that's a made-up job. I was like, it's like, I don't even think people know there's a copy machine in our office.
No, of course not. No. I just can't believe we got a whole new girlfriend, which is great for Drew, but completely off camera. Like, considering all of the woes that he had, even in the last 2 episodes with.
And it wasn't even like, oh, we just went on a date. It seems like they're like kind of like
steady. She's coming over the
Eddie,
house and
for
stuff.
Thanksgiving. They
Yeah.
planned on hanging out.
Yeah, she wants to come over early to watch the game.
Yeah, they
And-
didn't specify what game.
Right. Well, I don't think. Can they say what game? I'm guessing it's a Browns game, but I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
They could have said football.
The
I
big
mean, I guess
game.
football's
You
assumed.
can't say Super Bowl, but it's not the
Yeah.
Super Bowl. It's Thanksgiving. I don't know. Here we kind of get Mimi sort of playfully poking at Drew, being like pretending to be an ex-lover who was scorned by him, and
Yeah, I'm just trying to fuck with Drew and
Exactly.
this new a girl.
this
and-
new lady that
Drew
apparently
calls her
she's never
bluff.
met. She
Drew-
goes, "Who's this?" And
Yeah.
it's like she works at the. Isn't your boss the guy who runs the whole fucking thing?
Yeah.
It's kind of incredible.
It didn't. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
fixing the copy machine, Mimi.
Speaking
But
of
the
boss, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Drew does call her bluff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
pretends to give her a smooch.
Yes, in a very fun way. He goes to kiss at her, and then
And
she
then
goes,
she's like, what'd she say? I know what the pizza.
"I now
sees
know what a pizza sees." And then she runs away, and it got a pretty good applause break. I'm like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, go
That
Mimi.
rules.
Yeah. Mr. Wick comes out, and Mr. Wick puts a whole wrench into Drew's Thanksgiving Day because he's got a new plan for Winfred Louder. He knows how he's going to save the store and save a bunch of employees.
Which, by the way, was just like an afterthought. The way Mr. Wick comes out is he has a hat full of names,
Yes.
and he's like, "Pick a name,
Carey,
Carey."
go ahead and pick a name.
And he pulls it out, and whoever the name was,
Jones, you're fired.
You're fired.
Yeah.
And then that was it. And then he was like, "Oh, by the way, I figured out how to save the store. We're going to have a Winfred Louder Thanksgiving Day parade."
I didn't realize that was the order of operations for I know, you worked in Philly. I'm from Philly. The Boscov's parade, or I guess now it's Dunkin' Donuts. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's Dunkin'.
I thought it was like.
Well, it's 6 ABC and Dunkin' do it together.
Right, it used to be a department store though. I feel like Macy's, obviously in New York, is the big one.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why I skipped over Macy's.
Right.
Department stores do the Thanksgiving Day parades.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought it was the television station is like, we're gonna do it, or like the city decides they're gonna do it, and then they need a sponsor. This seems completely out of
No,
order.
I feel like it definitely starts with the department store,
store?
at least for like Macy's.
Sure.
This is a big money maker
Yeah.
for Macy's,
That's
and
true.
they do the same thing with I think the fireworks display on 4th of July is
That's all
also
them.
there.
Yeah, and then everybody else
And
just
then
hops
the news
onto it.
media, we just get press releases that it's happening.
But like for Channel 6, like in Philly, they'll do it side by side. Like they'll have full coverage and they'll have shit
I mean,
that they
it's
read.
the same thing. Macy's and NBC,
NBC. Yeah.
are fully. I think they probably signed a contract
Right.
to have the rights to it over the years. I don't know.
I just wonder, and of course I did not Google that, but I wonder the order of operations with a Thanksgiving Day parade there. But anyway, I
Apparently,
appreciate...
Winfred Louder's just like, we're going to have it, and they decided 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
And not only that, Mr. Wicks, Drew's like, oh, yeah, that'll be great. Great idea. We can plan that for next year.
Next year's is gonna
And
be
Drew's
great.
like, no, it'll be this year,
Yeah.
Carey.
And he keeps insisting,
yeah.
next year's is going to be great, but this year's is going to suck.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 weeks. That is a crazy amount.
to put together a
Yeah.
parade.
Absolutely.
These parades are, I think, they got to be planned at least as soon as the last one ends.
I would imagine.
The second the last one ends, the next one
Start getting your permits and shit. But yeah, so not only that, Drew has been assigned to produce the whole parade.
And not only that, he can't even refuse because Mr. Wick.
Yeah, has already sent out a press release about it. And not only that, he's scheduled a press conference that starts right now. And a camera crew comes in and puts a light in his face. And yeah, it's nuts, man. Poor Drew. That can't be. Imagine that's in the job description.
Yeah, wait.
He's the hiring guy for a department store.
He's the head of HR, right? Or no? Or is
No,
he
he's just a
assistant?
hiring guy, I think. I don't think he even runs.
And now
human
he's
resources.
also
a parade producer. He's got to worry about city permits and getting balloons and shit.
I mean, look, if I had to put it on anyone in that office,
Yeah.
Drew's, I know we know the most
Reliable.
about him.
Reliable.
Yeah.
He's the only one.
He's the only one.
You
know it'll be fun.
Yeah. So we then get to him trying to get the parade together. And he's calling, I get a big balloon store.
Yeah,
is the first,
he's
Hello,
calling
big
the
balloon
giant,
store.
giant balloon store. And they can.
That's not a thing. He's calling. I guess somebody has to produce parade balloons, but there's no
I
way
don't
there's
know
just like an
who
Ohio-based.
from how does Macy's get all that shit?
I don't know, man.
I mean, they do have like there's reoccurring ones,
Right,
that
like you get Snoopy,
but then you get
and-
new ones every couple years.
Yeah,
It'll
but
be
is there like a
oh,
specific
here's the
company
Minion.
that like you can just call and be like, "Hey, I want a SpongeBob balloon."
There's definitely a specialty company that makes only
Yeah, I'm the big balloon
only
guy.
50-foot balloons.
Yeah. Now, do you think those guys are unionized? Because that picketing would be sick.
I don't know if they're unionized because you know what? All the people that handle the balloons, fucking volunteers.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
At the
Union
parade.
guys would never let you touch the equipment. Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind?
Yeah. Hey, you're fucking up the Reptar balloon. Get back here. So he's calling the big balloon store and he's trying to see what they have even just available. And he's got a cow, a giant spark plug, and then something called Tommy the Rabbit.
Tommy the Rabbit, which apparently has working genitalia.
We learn later on in the episode it's got working genitalia. But the way they describe it working, like I'm imagining it's a penis, Tommy. Does it inflate?
I feel like that's what it is.
Right? But does it inflate like at the start, or does he get excited halfway through the parade that everybody's looking at him?
Once everyone starts yanking on the rope.
Yeah, exactly. If you tug tight enough. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck Tommy the Rabbit is.
Yeah.
And neither does Drew, because he's desperate. And he orders all three and he says we'll just throw a Santa hat on the giant spark plug. He's got everybody working on it. Debbie comes in with his mail, and
which is apparently includes the city permits.
Yes.
Which he did not get approved for. They will not block off the streets. So now Drew can throw a parade, but it has to be going at the minimum speed of traffic,
right?
40
miles an hour
yeah.
on the streets, which is not even a great parade. It's probably that's just traffic. You've just created sky traffic at that point. Yeah, and then Debbie also says she's trying to write "honk if you like turkey" on Drew's car for the parade, and he goes, "My car's in the shop." And then she goes, "I gotta go." And that is the last time we see Debbie.
I didn't even realize that.
Episodes.
That's it for Debbie.
Yeah, they really don't care enough about this female character they just established. But we do see our favorite female character, Kate. She comes in with Oswald, and I guess they're out in the garage working on a Buzz Beer float.
The Buzz Beer float,
which is
and
cool.
They we happen to notice that they're hot glued together.
They have super glued themselves together. Oswald has super glued the glue gun to his hand.
Have you ever used a hot glue gun?
I've never used a hot glue gun.
They when I was a kid, they used to scare the shit out of me.
I hate it. I hate even like when you go into like a craft store looking for glue and shit. Like even just seeing like super glue or Gorilla Glue, it's too much.
Well, I'm fine with like we got Gorilla Glue in our refrigerator right now. But
why is it in the fridge?
Pro tip at home: if you guys buy Gorilla Glue and then you open it, if you don't put it in the refrigerator, it's gonna dry up. So just a pro tip.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Where is it in the fridge? I don't want to eat it.
It's next to the butter.
Oh no! Oh no! What did I put on the bagel earlier? Okay.
So anyway,
you're just keeping it cool.
That's just your glue tip of the day.
Cleveland Rock's glue tip of the week. Ding!
Hot glue, though. Hot glue guns used to scare the shit out of me because they would get I just remember how hot they used to get. And like I think my grandma used to have one or something, and I would just notice it sitting there, and like just the way it's like has like the metal on the outside, and the glue kind of melts out, and the glue like it really hurts. If you get it on your skin.
It's designed to. It's a hot glue gun. You know what I mean? It's scalding.
It freaks me out like curling irons do.
Right.
You know, because I just any hot object that's just like sitting on the counter when it's plugged in. No, I don't.
Every woman in my life is always like, "Don't touch the curling iron," and I'm like, "How fucking bad can it be?" Apparently, really bad. Apparently, as bad as a hot glue gun. Yeah. So they're all glued together like a freak monster. And I guess Oswald also has. He tried to scratch his back somewhere in the garage, and he's got a bunch of shit on his back. Anyway, they're trying to make we learned they don't have trucks. They don't have flatbed trucks for these floats. So they're trying to use Lewis's van to turn it into a float, and it's just causing so much trouble.
Put like a turkey on it or something.
Yeah. So at this point, Mimi comes in.
Well, no.
Oh.
Lewis comes in first.
Oh, yes.
And Lewis was apparently out, and I guess the Ohio State Marching Band and the Shriners are both booked.
Yeah.
So they were not available for his parade.
I feel like you got to call the Shriners at least a month in advance for Thanksgiving. Yeah, you fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Mimi comes in, and she gives a proposition that she apparently can help get you flatbed trucks and with the city's permit problem.
She just walks on in. She's got, she grabs a beer from the fridge, real confident, kind of like cocky almost.
Yeah, I loved that. She grabbed the beer and just like threw the cap in the sink, and I was like, oh, here's Mimi hanging out with the gang.
She's going to assert her dominance here. But yeah, it turns out her father owns a trucking company and can get them all flatbed trucks.
She's a Teamster baby.
She's a Teamster baby. Drew says she's a Teamster baby, and can also does enough work with the city that he'd be able to make the permits disappear.
Yeah.
So good news for all involved.
But of course, you know Mimi gonna Mimi.
There's a catch. First of all, Drew offers a catch, which is, what do you want me to do? Dress as the New Year's baby at the holiday party?
She's
She goes,
like, okay. Good idea.
Wasn't even thinking of that.
But also,
she wants to be something called the Snow Queen at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. She's like, I want to be the Snow Queen. And I'm just like, what the fuck is a Snow Queen?
Exactly. Well, that's what I come to find like later in this episode, too, when they all keep talking about it. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's not a thing.
This is a made-up thing.
If it was like Mrs. Claus or something.
Santa is a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Santa is in a Thanksgiving Day parade. But she wants to be the center of attention. She wants to be the main float, the first float, I guess.
Did they even say Santa?
No.
Is
no,
Santa
like any of this.
Is Santa like Super Bowl?
Yeah, you can't. It's copyrighted.
Yes.
You need exclusive rights
Somebody
from the North Pole.
Rights for Santa.
It wasn't Cleveland. But yeah, so Drew reluctantly agrees to let her be whatever the fuck the Snow Queen is, and they're all in order. So then the next scene, I guess, we get is Thanksgiving Day. Drew's trying to rally the people at the office.
I guess everyone who works at the store is obviously going to help volunteer to be a part of this.
Yeah.
So
they all want their jobs. I think the subtext of all of this is Wick has said he's going to fire like 100 people, which like that can't be legal. But whatever, he's going to fire 100 people.
How many people are in this store?
That is also a great question.
If he fires 100 people, how many people still have their jobs?
Yeah. But so Drew's trying to rally the troops here before they go out, and he's saying he's really happy with how everything came together. The one note he had was, the legalized marijuana float. If you guys want to do your thing, that's fine, but you have to finish the float. And Kate points out that they're not there; they're still at breakfast.
Yeah,
I love it.
And then Mr. Wick comes in.
Yes,
and he's with a man.
He's with a man who he's determined is going to be the grand marshal of the parade. The guy is David L. Lander, but you know him, listener, as Squiggy.
And when Mr. Wick introduced, like, yeah, it's Squiggy.
Yeah.
And there was this big applause break, and I'm just like, who the fuck
is Squiggy? Oh, man. Yeah, so, I didn't know. I'm sure there are people that are aware.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have age demographics for this podcast, but if you watched it in the 90s, you probably knew this is a guy that was from Laverne and Shirley. I didn't do it. I still don't know what the fuck a Squiggy is.
Mr. Wick didn't even know who the fuck he was. Yeah. He was just like, there was a crowd of people very excited about him at the airport.
Yeah.
I guess Squiggy was at the airport.
Squiggy had a layover, I guess, in Cleveland, going to wherever Squiggy celebrates Thanksgiving.
It was delayed, so Mr. Wick was apparently also at the airport and offered to show him the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
He says he's going to take him to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, pulls him straight over to Winfred Louder, but whatever. So again, David L. Lander, he wants him to be the Grand Marshal. He wants everybody to get Squiggy with it. Get Squiggy with it. Yep.
He looks like the photos make him look like he was like in a leather jacket and greasy hair. Like he's kind of like a Fonzie figure, right?
But not at this point. You mean like in Laverne and Shirley?
In Laverne and Shirley.
I didn't do hold on, let me go to my Google tab. I searched Squiggy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he looked a little younger in these photos. R.I.P. He passed away in 2022. In 2020.
This ripped to Squiggy.
Yeah, ripped to Squiggy. Squiggy, hold on. Hold on. Not only was he in, this is the Happy Days wiki. Oh, I guess Laverne and Shirley is a spin-off of Happy Days, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. It would all be in the same wiki.
Yeah.
And we do get later on some Happy Days characters as well. But do you want to guess Squiggy's full name?
in like the show.
In the show Happy Days / Laverne and Shirley.
Squilliam.
No. Andrew Squiggy Squigman. Squigman.
It was more ridiculous than I thought.
He's the Squigman, dude. Oh my God. He is lifelong childhood friends with Lenny Kosnowski, and Squiggy is the feistier of the pair, says the Happy Days wiki. So, anyway, he's a feisty boy.
He's a feisty
but yeah,
guy.
it looks like whenever
He's a very like middle-aged, regular-looking dude
sure.
in this.
He looks like your dad that would have been on a plane flying.
He does not look like a celebrity
Not
whatsoever.
even kind of. But anyway, yeah. So he is now the Grand Marshal of the parade, which bad news for Mimi.
Yes, the caveat is, of course, he then has to be on the last float or the first float, whatever the
Is
float.
the prominent float. He is going to replace the Snow Queen, we've learned. So Drew has to kind of let her down easy here. She comes in dressed like she actually, you know who she looked like? She looked like Elsa from Frozen.
Yeah,
she got
did.
like this big, bright blue
big,
dress,
billowing blue dress.
And so Drew tries to like even offer like you can be on another float. I think there's a sausage float that he was willing to put her on, but she's not having it all. She storms off, and then we learn that she's taken the keys to her dad's flatbed trucks, and the parade has been canceled basically unless they can get the keys back.
Yeah. Now we cut to Drew on the top of his float,
Him and
Lewis's
Oswald.
float, him and Oswald on the top of on
Buzz
Lewis's
Beer
van,
float.
the Buzz Beer float, on their way to chase Mimi down because Mr. Wick has basically been like, fire Mimi if you need to, but go get those keys.
Get
the parade
those keys
must
under
go on.
any circumstances.
Yeah.
I loved the Buzz Beer float. First of all, I just loved that they had a piece ready for it, that we actually got to see some of the parade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love Lewis. I love that they built the float around the van, but
Yes.
they trapped him in the doors, so
and
now
I
he's
guess
just stuck.
Why? I don't know why, but the center of the car, probably because there's all the balloon shit around it, it's just, it's so hot. He is there on the top, and it's freezing cold in Cleveland, and like Oswald says, his face is getting frozen. Lewis is sweating. He can't see straight because I guess the heat has to be centralized so the balloons go.
Well, he also just said the heater was stuck on.
Oh, that's true. I couldn't fix the heater.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's like melting in this van of his.
But it's a big. Oh, yeah, we should paint the visual here.
Sure.
It's a big turkey
on the top,
the roof,
2 beers on the
with
side,
holding 2 beers on the side.
My favorite little detail was the front sign that says "Buzz Beer Poultry in Motion." I love a dumb little gag.
And
dumb
then
little pun.
whenever they honk the horn, it gobbles. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
They try to get the teenagers' attention at the kids' center or something as they're passing by, and it just gobbles. Yeah, it's a really well executed float van
Prop. Yeah.
prop. Yeah. So anyway, then we end up back at Mimi's apartment, and Drew tries to break on in and confront her. And one by one, we get Bobek family members coming in to
who
meet
apparently
Drew.
are also getting applause breaks.
Right. So I have 2 of them written down. The father is a guy from Happy Days as well. His name is Tom Bosley. He plays Howard Cunningham on Happy Days. This is where we're going to show our ass with regards to Happy Days and sitcom history. I haven't watched any of Happy Days.
Maybe we should have done a Happy Days podcast first
before the Drew Carey show, just for this specific moment, so we wouldn't look like jerks.
Yeah.
Her mother comes in. So first of all, the father comes in. He's really like so happy to see Drew. We hear a bunch of good things about you and Mimi, that you're budding and you're gonna work on your way
just
up.
Like
at
the
department
craziest
store.
approach that he was like, yeah, it sounds like they really got big plans for you and Mimi, and we're just so you're the infamous
like she's
Drew.
talking really nice about her, about him behind her back. The mother is it's Tammy Faye Mesner. Does that name ring a bell to you?
Not even a little bit.
She is an American television evangelist. Now, I remember Jim and Tammy, I think, being like a sitcom, or not a sitcom, like an FX docu-series, like one of those like American whatever story things, I think.
Nope.
But
doesn't ring a bell.
She's a televangelist, the PTL Club, with her husband Jim Baker in the 70s. And she did it through the 90s. She also had a career as a recording artist.
So she wasn't in Happy Days.
No, she was not in Happy Days. She was a televangelist.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't, and
She also had an applause break.
she had an applause break, so enough people
know
in
this
'96 recognized this woman.
Or do you think maybe they just turned on the applause sign?
Could have been that too, but then we didn't get it for some of the others because I looked up who the sister was, and it seems like the sister was nobody, and the grandfather was nobody. So
Yeah.
I don't know why Tammy Faye Mesner got such an applause break. I don't know. She did. I'm looking at her Wikipedia page. It was like she did some LGBT advocacy as an evangelist. She died in 2007. I have no idea. I'm here scratching my head. It was a different time, the 90s. I don't know if you know. The economy was good, and we were.
Do you think are there sitcoms today that are having these like sorts of cameo or like appearances, and that we just have no idea
who the fuck it is or why?
Like again, just more like going over our head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just because then again, we don't really tape sitcoms in front of studio audiences anymore.
No, it's true. So there's
They're
no like
all
applause
Abbott
break.
Elementary
Right.
sort of.
Well, there was that one
single
time
cam.
that episode of Broad City with that guest star, and I think I'm pronouncing this right, Hillary Clinton. I'm not. I don't know who that is, but
She was a televangelist.
yeah, I think so.
In
She
the
did some,
90s?
I don't know. She had some famous husband. I don't know. But so yeah, we're getting the family in one by one, and they're all talking about how excited they are to see Mimi
As the Snow Queen.
as the Snow Queen.
Which again, I'm like, what the fuck is the Snow Queen?
But not only do we finally learn kind of what the Snow Queen is, we don't really learn, but we learn a little bit of the backstory with Mimi's personal trauma with the Snow Queen. The Snow Queen was a part that she was supposed to play in like a school play.
Yeah.
And at
When
the
she was,
very
like,
last
a
second,
child.
when she was a child, like
Like
elementary
13,
school. Yeah.
I think they said.
And right at the last minute, it got taken away from her by the principal's daughter or something. So, Nepo baby shit. She wasn't
Nepo
able to
baby
play
shit.
the Snow Queen. And her family's been so upset ever since about this.
That's what got in the way.
That's what got in the
Principal's daughter.
Yeah.
Wasn't because Mimi's mean.
Yeah, no.
I like that that's everyone. Oh, we'll come to the next episode. But everyone's take on Mimi is just, you're too mean.
Yeah.
And frankly, yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong. She's a cold person.
She's a little,
Yeah.
she could lighten up.
Rude.
Yeah.
Rude. But anyway, yeah, so Drew needs the keys. And he basically tells her, listen, Wix told me I can fire you unless you give me these keys. So we can do it the easy way or the hard way. And she gives over the keys. And right as Drew's about to leave and go have Squiggy lead the Thanksgiving Day parade, an old man rolls out in a wheelchair. Her grandfather's just woken up from a nap. And he says... He goes, "Oh, Mimi, I'm so excited to see you on the TV, even if it's my last Thanksgiving. it's just going to be so nice knowing I'm going to see you on the TV.
As the Snow Queen.
As the Snow Queen." So this breaks Drew, and he decides, you know what? No, we're going to make you the Snow Queen. Come on. So, she's won, and she goes, "Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. I got to go back in and get my scepter. My Snow Queen scepter." And she comes on in and she tells them he bought it. And then everybody starts
Everyone-
laughing.
And Grandpa stands up out of the wheelchair.
Some some Grandpa Joe shit right there.
Yeah.
Just starts dancing around being like, "Oh yeah, my last Thanksgiving." Like they were all fucking in on it. I love it so much.
Oh, man.
And then that's the end of the ep.
I don't think we really discussed, though, the problem here is like Wick, and they were like, Squiggy gets them television ratings. Like,
Right.
people are going to tune in. They're going to watch. You're going to get television coverage because Squiggy
Because
is there.
we got a celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus Mimi as the Snow Queen.
Right, exactly.
And I'm just like, what a pool of
Yeah.
Squiggy is, apparently,
Yeah.
for the city of Cleveland.
Cleveland goes cuckoo for Squiggy.
Is Squiggy from Cleveland?
I don't think so.
Squiggy.
Happy Days doesn't take place.
Born in New York.
Yeah.
No.
Well, hold on. Now I'm going to go back to my Squiggy search. Does Happy Days take place in?
He's from Brooklyn.
Where does Happy Days take place?
Oh, I feel like it's a Midwest. I don't know, but it's not Cleveland.
Oh, it doesn't even say on the thing.
Maybe it's just generic.
Spin-offs.
It feels-
Mork and Mindy was a spin-off of Happy Days? Fuck, man. We really got to watch Happy Days.
Yeah.
Damn, there's so many.
But then we got
Joni loves Chachi. Whatever. There's so much. Yeah, we got to watch young Ron Howard.
Happy
Where?
Days.
Oh, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. That checks
Man,
out.
you never see a
Wisconsin.
sitcom set in Milwaukee anymore.
Wait, oh my God, of course. Why didn't I know? There's a
the Fonzie statue.
in Milwaukee. Yeah, it's like their only landmark.
Yeah, it's just
Shout out Milwaukee.
Yes. Oh man, Squiggy. I love Squiggy. Yeah, the leather jacket, the weird curly curl.
Speaking of Squiggy, at the end of the episode, the credit scene is just
him hanging out and watching
him
the parade.
hanging out, eating sandwiches with Drew, watching the parade. And I guess the big inflatable cow
goes loose,
and it hits a power line.
and then everything goes dark. Yeah, and that's how it ends. That's how Drew's Thanksgiving was. He was going to be in his underwear watching the game with his girlfriend, and it turned out he had to produce a whole parade.
But he got to hang out with Squiggy, the Squig Man.
The Squig Man. Andrew Squigman himself.
Yes, Dr. Squigman.
Sitcoms used to just be, we'll throw that guy in a leather jacket and just say some shit.
What do you name him?
Yeah. So, I don't know, Squiggy. Season 2, episode 10. The title is It's Your Party, and I'll crash if I want to.
You better believe it, buddy.
I guess let's get into the cold open before we get into the titles change. But the cold open, Drew, Lewis, and Oswald are all hanging out watching something called The Sex Channel. The Sex Channel.
The God. Now back whenever cable was just getting started.
Yeah.
That you could just
whatever.
Everything had a channel.
Mm-hmm. Now the problem is they're kind of watching the Sex Channel, but they can't
really
it out.
tell because it's blurry, and apparently they're watching it on mute.
Yeah, well they're watching it on mute, but it's blurry and like staticky because they're bootlegging it. Drew didn't pay for the Sex Channel because he says if he's already got Cartoon Network and he's worried if you get both of those, they put you on a list.
Is he like bootlegging, like pulling from another neighbor's cable box?
I would imagine that's kind of what it is. Like he's got the antennas up in there.
Damn.
Yeah, he's just bootlegging the Sex Channel.
I didn't know. I didn't realize that you could bootleg from rabbit ears.
Yeah, I think.
I always thought bootlegging had to come from I
a
always
videotape.
pictured, people had an exterior sort of box for their cable, and they would run a cable line from their neighbor's cable line.
I think I don't know. This is a little out of my know-how, but I'm pretty sure if you have the rabbit ears and somebody else gets the signal, you just have to get it pointed enough in their direction.
Interesting.
That you can kind of steal it for a second, right? Because it's all just antenna waves.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I thought cable was I thought cable was cable. Right, it was analog. You plug it in.
Do you think Drew has a neighbor? I mean, again, we haven't seen the neighbor.
We haven't seen Jules.
We haven't seen Jules.
What the fuck happened to Jules?
Do you think Jules and Drew are boys enough that Jules would let him just tap into the Sex Channel?
Well, you know that Jules is bootlegging his Sex Channel.
1,000%. 1,000%. There's no way Jules is paying for the Sex Channel. But yeah, you're right. It's on mute. So they go to take it off mute, and then we realize we're hearing a doctor talk, and they learn it is not the Sex Channel, it's the Surgery Channel. So we're just watching some guy get operated on.
Yeah, they unmuted, and it's and the incision goes in the abdomen. Abdomen.
The incision goes in the abdomen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could you imagine? We're in our late 20s. I feel like if me and you tried to tune into the Sex Channel, that's a thing I think you could do as your teenage boys. But when you're in your mid 30s, these characters, it's just a weird thing.
It's a weird thing to sit around drinking a beer over
and watch what you think is live
Sex Channel.
Yeah. Anyway, Kate comes in the middle of all of this and says she needs help. There's a guy kind of following her, I guess, a bad date or a bad boyfriend or something.
That's what I was trying in my notes. I was just some guy. I was like, did she, maybe I missed it. Did she specify it's a date? Did she specify it's a stalker?
I don't really know either.
The energy is stalker.
Yeah, the energy has a guy that really cares about her, but she's it wouldn't have been a date, I don't think. Anyway, she says, I guess it's a stalker or something, and she said he's following her, and she had to run in, and she just wants help getting away from him, right?
Yeah.
So she goes ahead and kind of sits down. All the guys run and hide, and then this guy comes in. This kind of meek looking dude.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be real.
He's a little honest, and he's a little guy, and his voice was very he gave me big theater energy.
Yeah. But in a way that we've had previous Kate ex-boyfriends where it ends poorly, or like they look like they could beat the shit out of Drew or something.
Yeah, they're all like big muscular
This
guys.
guy was very unassuming.
Yeah, little guy.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, he starts to kind of I guess come on to her in a way. And one by one, we get all these guys coming out. Lewis comes out first, pretending to be like a boyfriend who's drunk and like, I'm going to threaten you. What are you doing in my house with my lady? And
and then honestly, the guy's just like, I got to get you out of here. It's not safe.
Right.
To be
It kind of backfires.
Yeah,
Because
it backfires.
He really leans into the character of this like abusive drunk man.
Yeah.
Slaps her on the ass, all this shit. Like goes.
Kate calls him stupid. He's like, stupid.
You call him, he's stupid.
You call him stupid.
To the point where he thinks she's not safe anymore.
Yeah.
Then Drew comes out in like one of those.
Well, Drew comes down only after Lewis goes far enough as to breaking a lamp.
Oh yeah.
He picks up a lamp and shatters it on the ground.
Yes. He gets that into character.
And then Drew comes running down the stairs in one of those hats with the flaps on the side. That's
I was
going
gonna say Holden Caulfield. I know there's a word for it, but like
Yeah.
it's like a Holden Caulfield kind of hat.
Mm-hmm.
And they call him Uncle something or other. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And then
But Drew also said, "That's my woman."
and then Oswald comes out and says, "I'm her brother, and she's pregnant with my child." And it escalates, and none of it makes sense. And
And then they all
confuses the
start
guy.
going, "You're my dad." Well, I'm your dad.
You're my dad. And then it basically devolves into them doing Three Stooges style sort of violent acts on each other, pulling like, "Bwah, bwah, bwah." The guy eventually is like, "We got to get you out of here and take you to a shelter." To
Kate's
Kate.
like, "Yeah, take me, please."
She fucking hates that she started this whole thing. And then Drew ends it by, basically like holding up their hands for applause and then taking a bow and saying they're going to do a Tennessee Williams play next.
A truck stop named Desire.
It's a pretty good cold, all things
it's
considered.
good, yeah.
And then in the middle of the fucking season, we get a new title sequence that's not really new.
Yeah, what was mid-season was weird.
Mid-season's
I mean, maybe
weird.
it was something that like they wanted to do at the start, but for some reason they didn't
Couldn't.
get permission.
Yeah, or maybe I don't even know. Maybe they didn't get permission for the songs, right? It's the dance sequence to 5 O'Clock World by the Vogues that we've already seen before.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the season 2 like song, or maybe season 1, season 1, episode 2 or episode 1. Like
Yeah,
one of
it was
those
the
openers.
first. It was the first opener in the season.
Yeah, and now it's the title sequence for the show. And I read on the Wikipedia it says it will be for the remainder of the season. So
Weird.
it's so weird. What a weird choice. But I kind of love it. But it's even weird when it's edited like that because they just fly in like the credits of like producers and directors.
Yeah,
shit.
and it's just. I mean, it's all the same footage we had already seen.
Right.
Just kind of recut and sped up.
Yeah.
They got that weird like kooky '90s like triangle sort of.
Totally. Yeah, the goofy Drew Carey style. Like you can see in our album
artwork.
art, our podcast art. But yeah, so anyway, we come back in after the intro, and this isn't funny, but Drew is memorializing a recently deceased employee, Sally in Electronics. They're all struggling to find anything to say about her, let alone like remember what she looked like. One of the employees was like, was she the redhead? Like, I guess she was hit by like a car crossing the street, like a car hit her or something.
And then immediately they're all like, "Yeah, we need a light at that intersection.
Yeah.
We need a light.
It all becomes about that and not
Yeah.
about this woman. Mr. Wick has nothing nice to say. He confuses his Sally, and then when he realizes that, he goes, "Oh, that bitch died," or something. He's just really, really perfect about it. Kate comes in after the memorial.
Bleach blonde.
She got a hairdo. Yeah, she's bleached blonde. She's hoping it'll look more attractive, I think. She's trying to appeal more to men.
Yeah.
I didn't know Kate was having a problem with that. Kate
Yeah,
in the cold
Kate-
open was trying to run away from a man. And then after the title, something happened, and she's like, "I want to look more attractive." Yeah, she looks
she
good.
wants a whole new. Like she was also talking about how she was going to change her name, but
Yeah.
then that was a little much.
Yeah.
She thought
Malibu Kate, Drew calls her. Yeah, it's really it's something.
it's blonde.
It's platinum.
That's the crazy kind of blonde.
Yeah.
Because then even Drew is like, "Oh, you don't know, now you're a blonde. Now you're not going to know what it's like to be a blonde, always being a sex object, referencing himself. Haha. But
The only
also,
way
I'm
I
like,
was able to-
Drew, I never even looked at Drew as a blonde. He's got that dirty blonde. I
Yeah,
guess.
exactly. Dirty blonde, beach blonde almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sandy. Yeah. Would you ever bleach your hair? No? I've thought about it, and then I realized how terrible I would look with it.
Would you bleach the beard and the hair?
No,
or
I would
just-
not bleach the beard. I would keep the brown beard, brown, black, whatever the fuck beard, and then I would
come
bleach
on.
the top
There's
hair.
a guy at my gym that has that look.
Has a bleached beard?
No, has a bleach hair and then just a regular beard.
Yeah. Don't you think that's a good look?
It looks terrible.
No. You see, that's why I don't do it, though, because I know deep down it would be terrible, but I've always thought about it. I don't know. I
He
like
used to
it.
have a good dark set of hair, and then he had, it was a good quality look, and now he's got this blonde hair. I'm like, it's too much. He's doing too much.
I think it's something I could have done in college, but now, unfortunately, we've passed that opportunity.
It feels so identity crisis-y, like you're just a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like maybe a haircut can feel that way for people once in a while.
Well, I was gonna say-
I grew my hair out, and I didn't want to make it like.
Right.
But that took so much time. I feel like
I was going to say men
Shaving your
bleaching-
hair.
Well, I do that.
yeah,
sometimes.
but your hair's always kind of close to
It's
shaving.
short enough anyway.
If I feel like if I shaved my hair right now, that would feel like identity crisis.
I was going to say men bleaching their hair is the equivalent of women getting bangs, is how it feels.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
it's like I'm trying to signal that I'm not okay, but
I'm not
like,
o-
yeah, look at me.
It's your flag.
Exactly.
And it obviously is Kate's flag.
Yeah, as we'll see later on. But Mimi then comes up to Drew and asks, literally minutes after this woman's memorial service, if she can have her job. Drew at least credits her for not bringing it up during the memorial service. But we learn no, Mimi cannot have the job. One, because Drew hates her. And two, because they're bringing in one of, I believe, Winfred Louder's top salesperson is what he said.
Yeah.
This guy,
Dexter.
Dexter Roberts was his name.
Yes.
So
Dex seems like the man. Everyone loves Dex.
He's really popular.
Based on, they're just talking. And,
Right.
and like they know who Dex is. And Drew's like, oh, Dex probably goes to all the cool places.
Yeah.
And Mimi's like, yeah, Dex seems pretty awesome. I'd like for him to show me some things too.
Well,
And-
I love that they've based this off of like nothing yet. He hasn't even arrived, I don't think.
yeah, I guess it's just word of mouth.
Yeah. Well, and we see he comes up with one of the bald employees who I don't know their name, but he's like, "Hi, you made me laugh at a bald joke about me." That's good. Like, you know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
he wins over hearts and souls, it seems. So yeah, and then the next day, we learn Dex has taken everybody out to lunch in the whole company, except Drew, because Drew was in the copy room for 2 minutes and missed the lunch invite.
Maybe with Debbie.
Maybe with Debbie. Yeah, we don't know. Maybe she was working on that copy machine.
Yeah, if you know what I mean.
If you know what I mean. Dex even takes Oswald. Oswald's just again.
Wait, I do love. Yeah, back to this. Like, oh, they're just waltzing into the office all the time. Oswald and Lewis have been invited to fucking
right, the party.
Dex's party.
So in addition to going to lunch, he does a magic trick at lunch, is what we learn. But it's like one of those ones where he like makes the tablecloth go with no problem. And Drew's like, well, I don't care. I've already seen that before. And then he does magic on Drew.
Well, no, it's not. But then he's like, but then he put it back. So he took the tablecloth away
and then threw
and
it
he
on
threw
and
it
didn't
back
impact it.
without
Okay, I haven't
disturbing the
seen
food.
that.
And then he was like,
I missed
all right,
that.
that's pretty cool.
That's pretty good. But then, don't worry, Drew. He was feeling left out. Now he has magic tricks happening on him. Dex goes behind his ear and pulls out a bunch of handkerchiefs and then makes a party popper explode from the back of his pants, from his ass. Yeah. And he's like, what did Drew have for lunch?
That was pretty. That made me laugh like I was in the room.
It's good physical gags.
Why don't
man.
you have? Well, why don't you have a guy? No, offices don't have a Dex anymore.
Yeah.
Just a guy in there doing shorthand magic.
Yeah.
For all his employees.
Do you
to mock his employees?
Yeah. You don't have anybody in the office that can do? We have one. Now I work in comedy too, so I guess we have one guy
that checks out.
who
of
was
course.
a former magician who will do magic tricks. Usually, if an employee is leaving on their last day, he'll show them a magic trick.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think it would be really funny though if he did it and they didn't know they were if they were getting fired. I think it'd be really funny you get called to his office and he makes a dove appear and in smoke it's like bye. Yeah, in addition to the magic, we learn that Dex is having a party.
Yeah.
And Drew didn't get an invite.
Yeah, apparently everyone got their
everybody.
invitation. Again, as I jumped the gun before, Oswald got an invitation. Lewis got an invitation. Everyone's got a fucking invitation to this party.
Yeah, except Drew.
Yeah.
Drew's looking all over his desk.
Can't find it.
Then he turns around. Mimi starts laughing, and he turns around and he goes, "What? Did you get an invite?" And she goes, "An invite to what?" And that's when we realize Mimi and Drew both did not get invites to this party. So they start furiously looking over their desks. No luck. Yeah, we get. I liked this moment of just like, why wouldn't we get invited? And then we get like these gross close-ups of Drew and
their
Mimi's
faces.
where they just look like forlorn and sort of like gross. Like it's just like a hyper close-up of their face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. I liked again with the show making good. I feel like they make good directorial decisions whenever you
it feels
need
like
an impact moment.
It feels cartoonish a little bit. The decisions, I kind of like it. It leans into
like Looney Tunes.
Exactly, the absurdity of it. It's a Warner Brothers show. Like it feels like really sort of cartoony.
So the next scene, they're at the Warsaw. Mm-hmm. And Mimi's at the Warsaw, I should clarify. Mimi's drinking
pretty
alone.
Empty
and
otherwise.
It's empty because, I don't know, as we've established, everyone at this office drinks at the Warsaw, and now they've all been invited to Dex's party.
Everybody's out at the party.
Yeah, so the bar's empty, and Drew walks in, and he sees Mimi. He's like, ugh, and he sits down at a table, and then bartender tells him he's got to sit at the bar. The table's reserved for
groups of three or more
in this empty bar. So anyway,
Drew's like, oh, if I can beat the rush, pretending to go around people that aren't there.
Yeah. And
what a dick move by that bartender.
I know, and they're like boys.
Yeah.
Drew's there all the time. He supplies them beer.
He's given, literally, Buzz Beer works for them. I was going to say he's given, like, Drew the keys before, and, like, Lewis has, like, worked the bar.
Yeah.
And he's telling Drew to fuck off.
Oh, yeah, also a little detail we missed here. Apparently there's a sandwich at the bar named the Dex.
Oh, yeah, it's a cheeseburger, no onions, which is Drew's order, and he decides he named it the Dex.
And he's like, I've been going here since high school.
Mm-hmm. You didn't give me anything.
But, although, wait, he didn't give me anything, but then we find out the bathroom's called the Drew.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I couldn't tell if that was an actual Mimi gag or if it was real, but then by the end of it, we do learn he's going to hit the Drew.
Yeah.
So it was good. But yeah, so then these two are kind of like talking about, feeling like outsiders. We get a whole conversation about feeling othered.
Yeah, it was kind of like a weirdly personal moment for this show, since like sincerity between the two of them.
Yeah, we get a one-on-one that actually feels like they can relate to each other.
Yeah, they're outcasts, and it sucks whenever it happens as a kid, but as an adult, it's
even worse. Yeah. Why is it happening as an adult? So then they decide what they're going to do is get back at everybody, and they're just going to crash the party. They're going to crash Dex's house and just show up and wreak a little havoc, they decide.
Yeah.
So cut to Dex's party, and we see the gang all there. Lewis is drinking a margarita. It's the 5th largest margarita he's ever drank, but it's out of a kiddie pool. So it's like a really long straw. There's a kiddie pool on the ground inflated, and then there's like salt along the
salted rim on the kiddie pool.
I think it's
he's
so
drinking out
funny.
of it with a big curly straw along with the bald guy from work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the detail that it was the 5th biggest. And he's like, well, frat party, and then some Mexican restaurant had a big deal. And then Oswald's there too. Oswald has a black eye for some reason. I guess he makes a joke about if your delivery is not on time, you get to punch us in the face or something.
Yeah, it's a new policy.
Mm-hmm. And then when these two are chatting, that Kate comes over, and Kate's furious. And she tries to play it off like, I'm so sick of men. They're hitting on me, this, that, the other. And then we learn that is not the case at all.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite.
The exact opposite. No, everyone's turned off by Kate now with this blonde hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyway, Kate's plan didn't work because I guess Kate really wanted. This is where she really reveals she really wanted attention.
Yeah, that's why she did it. She wanted male attention, I guess specifically, and she bleached her hair to try to get that because I guess blondes have more fun.
Yeah, blondes are lighter. She was talking about feeling lighter and looser, and so
no luck, no dice for Kate. But I did like Lewis goes, well, what did we learn here? And Kate goes, oh, I know. I shouldn't worry about the outside, and I should focus more on fixing my inside and all that. And she's like, yeah, I was going to say, or just use a baby voice. But
yeah,
whatever, that works too. And then I did want to say Dex comes over while they're drinking from the giant margarita, and he says my favorite line from the whole episode, which is, have you tried the Corona toilet?
And Lewis is like, what? He's like,
I gotta go. Yeah.
and he's like, ah. But anyway, Drew and Mimi finally arrive.
Yeah, they kick in the door.
They kick in the door and they have like party poppers or whatever. I don't know what they're throwing shit around.
They're flipping plates that people have with food on it.
And then I think they run over and they start stomping in the giant margarita pool.
Yeah, exactly. They stick their feet in there to ruin it, and Drew's hopping up on a table and showing everybody his ass.
Drew said he was going to Wang Chung tonight.
Yeah. What does that even mean?
Everybody get down tonight.
Okay.
Everybody Wang Chung tonight. You don't know that
I don't
song?
know what that is, no.
What?
Should I know what that is?
Wow, yeah, that's a song. Wang Chung tonight.
I put that together. It's a song.
I never knew what if anyone has made it this far in the podcast and know what Wang Chung means.
No, Wang Chung is a band.
Oh yeah, but what's the?
They have a song. Everybody have fun tonight.
But then it's everybody Wang Chung tonight, and I don't know what the verb Wang Chung means. I know the proper noun.
Are they saying
Wang
that they
Chung.
themselves are like? I don't know. Does Wang Chung mean to just be fucking sick? Like, is that what they're trying to say?
They're getting down. We're Wang Chunging.
God, an English new wave band, Wang Chung.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's nuts.
Anyway, so Drew is gonna Wang Chung tonight.
He's gonna Wang Chung tonight.
And then
they're
Dex
causing
comes
a bunch
out,
of problems.
And he's like, Drew, what happened? And he's like, hey, you didn't. Him and Mimi are like, you didn't invite us to the party. This is what happens for excluding us. And Dex was like, of course I invited you. And he was like, check your breast pocket.
So he reaches into his jacket, and lo and behold, there's
there
one there. He's like, well, how'd you know I was? How was I supposed to know to check there? And he's like, I put it in every pocket.
Yeah, I put one in every pocket, and I figured you'd check one of them.
Drew starts pulling out. He's got like 4 fucking invites. How do you think? Obviously, he did it while he was doing the
yeah,
sleight
he
of hand
said that's
stuff.
what he was like. I wasn't just doing the magic to fuck with you.
Yeah.
I was also doing some sleight of hand, placing the invitations on his.
How
person.
do you think? I feel like how is Drew's suit that loose that he didn't notice 4 enveloped invitations to a
Well,
party?
the art of the sleight of hand, I guess, is really just got to distract attention on the body. Mm-hmm. By obviously touching it, and then you don't notice the other movements.
Things going on.
But 4
of them's a lot. Like all of his pockets is a lot.
Yeah.
So, and then so he's happy all of a sudden that he actually got an invite, and he was just being dumb. I think he says, for my next trick, I'm gonna pull my head out of my ass. Mimi though goes, well, did I get an invite? And the answer is no. And Dex's rationale was, you're mean. Which I'm amazed that he knew that after a day. I guess he saw.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just Mimi was. Being
it really was one day.
Yeah, and he was like, I don't like her.
No. She does. She is mean right away.
Oh, for sure. In your face immediately. Yeah. No hesitation.
But it is just like said, because you know what? Mimi and Drew, they just wanted to be friends with Dex. They thought he was
nice.
so cool.
Maybe if we were nice to the mean people, they would be a little nicer.
Yeah.
But Dex doesn't want to find out. So Mimi's getting ready to leave, and Drew is now at an impasse because he's created this weird emotional moment with Mimi, where he's like, we connected, we bonded, we both felt excluded, and we bonded over that, and now he doesn't know what to do.
And he got invited to.
He did get invited
to the party, so he could stay.
And
Dex is like, you can stay, Drew.
He gets really excited because he realizes that there's 3 different kinds of potato salad.
Yeah.
So, but respect to Drew. Drew goes, no, I'm in solidarity with Mimi. I'm not going to stay either. Now he gives a whole spiel about how important it is to not exclude people and to stand by, and how, it can impact you. But as he's doing this, he's filling up a plate to go. So he's throwing on meat. He's throwing on the potato salad. He's throwing on all this shit. Yeah. And then he's out the door with Mimi. And that's kind of where this wraps. I can't remember what
the last scene is. Just them in Mimi's car on the way home,
and she's very mean to him in that moment too. She's like, "Well, thanks for lowering the car and making my gas more expensive or whatever." But and then
she drops him off at his house.
Yeah, and then he scrams.
And that's it.
That's season 2, episode 10. I think we're developing here with the characters. We're getting some emotional. growth.
We're seeing a real range with. It's not just pranks anymore.
Right. No, we're like
Mimi and
more.
Drew have some emotional
We've met her
investment in each
family.
other.
in the
Yes.
previous one, even if they end up being a bunch of like sociopaths who will just lie to get their
That
daughter on
rules.
television. Yeah, we're definitely learning more about Mimi, and we're we're deepening a character relationship here with those two. So, yeah. So we're about
I wonder
halfway
do you
through.
think Dex is going to be a more than one episode guy?
I was going to say we're about halfway through season 2. Do you have any predictions as to what we're going to do? Is Dex going to be recurring now? Are we going to see this girlfriend again? Or like, what do you think happens from here?
Yeah.
I feel like we did this with season 1 and we were so fucking wrong that I'm kind of
I
curious.
really feel like I feel like Debbie might come back.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll never see Dex again.
Yeah, he was a one and done.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if he works on the floor in electronics.
We don't really see any of those people ever.
No. So it's kind
and
of
like
easy to
he's
just write him
almost
off.
too boisterous of a character for them to just like pepper in once in a while.
Right,
'Cause
exactly.
he really controlled the office.
Yeah.
For he came
he steals
in.
a scene.
Yeah. And stole the scene. So
I don't know. I'm going to say we also see Kate gets a more serious boyfriend again, maybe. I'm just throwing out possibilities.
that could happen.
Yeah. When she goes back to brunette.
Yeah. How long do you think she's blonde?
Oh, she's gone. That's done.
This
after
is it.
episode,
After
yeah.
this.
I think I could tell that was a wig. Like, that so clearly
yeah.
looked like a wig on her. That I would be shocked if it was like a running thing.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Debbie comes back around. But the problem with Debbie is we never learned anything about how they
so
met.
it's so easy to just make her vanish.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess she served a purpose for a moment,
Yeah.
for a very fleeting moment. I don't know.
But, yeah, I guess...
Here's my long lead prediction, too, for season 2. Squiggy never gets on the plane, and he just lives now in Cleveland. I think it's going to become the Squiggy show.
Yes. Start showing up in a leather jacket with his greased up hair.
This old man with his spectacles. Hey,
I think
I'm not Fonzie.
I think we'll get Mr. Wick out of the office once or twice or
Yeah,
a few
it'd be
times.
fun. We get like a Wick-centric sort of episode.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't delved into him like at all.
Yeah, no. We've met his mother, right? Wasn't she in
Did
the
we?
office for something?
Yes, we did. That was
Yeah.
like the second episode.
Yeah, so we've met like some people, but I feel like you're right. He kind of just serves the purpose as being like the office scold in a way,
Yeah.
and to fuck with Drew. I think I'd like to see him in a more situational sort of thing too. Yeah, I don't know. I think whatever happens, we're gonna have a lot of fun talking about it.
Yeah. It's all about the friends we made along the way.
Exactly.
All right, guys.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for
If you're watching this, get out of my window.
yeah. What did we tell you?
Stop it. You can follow the podcast on Instagram, Cleveland Rocks Podcast. You can email us, clevelandrockspodcast@gmail.com.
Please email us.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know if you want to pitch it now, but maybe like at some point in like, if this episode comes out the end of September, like if we get enough of a mailbag, we could like put together an episode in November that's just us responding to people or any feedback.
Yeah.
And, whatever you want. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you can just give us like a little 5-star rating, buddy. It'd be
Just
no big
anything.
deal.
Just say whatever you want.
Whatever. Just don't say it's bad.
Yeah.
Just if you can just make up things.
Whatever nice thing you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. Yeah, that's it. We'll see you in the next one.
I'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.